Well, thanks for joining. Tell us your name, please.
My name is Kent Allen Peterson. P
Thanks,
E T
Kent.
E R S O N.
Kent, where are you from?
I was born and raised in Tolleson, Arizona.
When did you? How was your childhood? What was that
I
upbringing
had a
like?
great childhood. I I once made a joke when we were on. Well, I have two older sisters, and we were on our way to Nogales, Mexico, just for a visit. And I told my mom, I said, knock knock, and she said, who's there? And I said, Tucson, and she said, Tucson who? And I said, Tucson's and Nogales is what I wish you had, because my sisters always picked on me.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So home life was good.
home life was good. My mother My dad left when I was 4, and my mother raised 3 children. And if you don't think that you're at the Arizona State Bar raising 3 children on a ranch in Tolleson, Arizona, and have your hands full, you got another thing coming. I'm just telling you. She was marvelous.
That's great.
Yep.
Good to hear. Did you go
Yep.
to college?
I did a little bit of college, but I mostly, when I graduated high school, I went to college for a little while, but we mostly moved up here, and then I got a job at the having been raised on a ranch. I got a job at the Ken Carroll Equestrian Center, and I took care of 110 horses, and I was 19, so it was.
So you kind of got to working at that point.
I got to working, and what happened is they ended up moving me into the foreman's house. So I was 19, living rent free, and making $1,100 a month in 1981. Wasn't bad.
Not bad.
No.
How long have you been in Arvada?
I'm actually not in Arvada. I actually I have been staying at the 48th Street shelter, and but my ex-wife, whom I love very much but could not live with, uh, uh, contracted ovarian cancer. So I spent 2 years living with her and taking care of her during. What happened is she had a, a it came back. It went into remission, and then it came back, and then it started to affect all her vital organs. And so I cooked for her, cleaned for her, blah blah blah. So I spent 2 years with her, but I loved her to death. I just couldn't live with her. So that's just two different peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's alive.
No,
No.
she passed away, and
Sorry
then
to hear
ever
that.
since she passed away, I've been staying at shelters.
Okay. So back up for me then. How long have you been in Colorado? How did you
Well,
get out here?
I moved out here when I was 19, and I'm 59,
All
so
right.
40 years.
What else have you done here in the state?
Oh
You
my
worked at
gosh,
the ranch. You
yeah, Murdoch's Ranch and Home Supply, Adams Mark Hotel. I did a little bit of stuff with concrete coring, and I ran the. I went from running an equestrian center with 110 horses to a law firm downtown, and we became the fifth largest law firm. Parcel Morrow, Holton, and Spanster, fifth largest law firm in Denver, which makes us the fifth largest law firm in the West. But people always ask me, how do you go from running an equestrian center to running a law firm? And I said, well, it's all about customer service. It's all about, make sure that people get what they need, right? And I said, the only difference is that at the equestrian center, I knew which end the poop was coming from. And at the law firm, you never know. So
That's
you,
fine.
you can edit that if you want.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
good. So tell me about your experience being homeless. When did that sort of start for you?
Well, I've been married twice, divorced twice. My last divorce, I just basically left everything with her, and then just moved on. And like I say, I spent a little time with my. I spent a little time at my buddy's house. I spent a little time here. I spent a little time there. But being blind in one eye, and then I started having seizures like 13 years ago, and I've got a little bit of a AFib, but I take medicine for all that. I take Keppra, or the generic version of Keppra, for my seizures, and then I take flecainide for my heart. And I'm blind in my one eye ever since I was 27, and I'm just not a very viable person in this market to hire. Yeah, so I find myself jobless and homeless, and
What would you do? What job would you do if you could?
I would go back to Murdoch's if I could. But what happens is when you have a seizure on your job, you become a liability. And that's just me knowing the law. But when you're a liability, you become less of a viable hiring candidate. You know, I mean, I worked at Sam's Club as a food taste tester for a while, and I had a seizure there one day, and I fell against this concrete column, and they said, you know, we can't do that. I mean, like, you know, if something goes wrong, you know, we're going to be liable for that. And so they said we have to end our relationship, kind of thing. So I go on Indeed every day over at the library, and but I've got several different job places that I go to try to find a job, but I'm just not a very viable candidate for that because of the health situation.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's just the way it is.
So you stay at the shelter. What does your day-to-day look like?
Well, actually, what happened is I about a month ago, I missed the bed check, and if you miss one day at the shelter, then what they do is they don't allow you back in. But what I didn't know is
Ever?
that, huh?
Ever?
No. I go to a drawing every day down at the mission.
Okay.
But they don't have that many spaces available. But if you miss one bed check, what they do is they say you got to reapply, okay, which is what I do. But what happened was at the time when I missed my bed check, they had 50 cases of COVID, and so they put the place on quarantine. So for like 3 weeks, they didn't have any drawings. So I've been just kind of staying at different places. Now there's a shelter at Holly Street, and I go out there from time to time. But they closed that place down so that they could remodel it. And I don't care for Crossroads, which is another shelter. So there's several shelters around. I know that there's one in Broomfield, but I haven't been up to Broomfield. My son lives not too far from here. I have a shed at 38th and Harlan, and my mom lives at 38th and Kendall. So I kind of just go between downtown Denver and here. So
Staying with them's not an option for you, or no?
my mom lives in, like I say, in an income-based retirement home, single bedroom. My sister lives in Golden, but she's retiring in November. My son just got married. They were going to get married last fall, but COVID postponed it for a year. So, but we had a great wedding just this last September. So,
That's great.
yeah. My son is happy. He's been with his girlfriend or his wife since high school. So and he's like 27 years old, and but they had to postpone their wedding for a year because of the fact that you couldn't have a group event in the middle of the outbreak of COVID. So they postponed it for a year, and then they just got married, and they're very happy. So I'm happy for him. He graduated from Colorado School of Mines and is an IT engineer at a firm in Boulder, and is doing very, very well. So I'm happy for him.
That's great.
Yep, it is great. I'm proud of my son, and if anybody asked me anything different, I would stand by that 100%.
That's good.
Yeah.
Stand by family.
Yeah. I coached my son in lacrosse for 8 years, year round, and we played every game that you could possibly play on PlayStation. We did all this stuff. As a matter of fact, most of the people on the team for lacrosse didn't even know that his mother and I were divorced, because she was there at every game and so was I, because that's just the way it was. But we played indoor in winter, outdoor in summer, but we played year round, and it was quite an experience.
What's your family's perspective of your situation? What does your son think about it?
My son is worried about me, and worries about me quite a bit. I am trying not to interfere with his life. I'm trying to do my own thing. My sister is worried about me, but she's retiring, and her daughter passed away, and I'm trying not to interfere with them. So
You feel like you're burdensome in
Yeah.
some way?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question that when you're jobless, homeless, and whatever, you are a burden. I mean, like, to a certain degree. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter who you're involved with, but there's a certain amount of burden that goes with it. I try. I don't want to have a seizure at my son's house.
Do you think that's your perspective or their perspective? You know, like, do you internalize that, or is that?
No, my son. I talk to my son every day. I talk to my sister. I'm gonna go meet my sister, as a matter of fact, right now. My mom is in Arizona. She's visiting with lifelong friends and family. But when I meet with my mom on several occasions, what I do is because so much stuff gets stolen. Like, for instance, in the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 sleeping bags stolen, and I try not to keep my stuff with me. You know, I have a shed, and so what I do is I stop off there, change clothes. I've got 3 suits, 10 ties, 10 different boxes full of old pictures and so on and so forth. But the thing is I can't carry that stuff with me. There's people that try to get on the bus with a shopping cart full of stuff. It just doesn't work. You know, I mean, like, you can't do that. So, like, I try to keep what I need in my bag, and then what I do is I meet up with my mother, and then get what I need. But like I say, she's in Phoenix for 10 days. So my sister has my stuff, so I'm gonna go down and meet with her. She's a hairstylist, and she works at a place off of 44th and Wadsworth, and she's been standing on her feet for 40 years, and she's retiring this next month.
She deserves it.
She deserves it. You are absolutely correct.
So what do you think is keeping you? I know you said it's difficult working. You know, what are some other things keeping you down? Do you struggle with anything? Are you a partier, drugs and alcohol?
I have a weakness for alcohol, but I'm not saying I'm a saint. There's probably the only vice I don't have is cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. So when people come up to me and say, "You got a lighter? Can I buy a cigarette?" I say, I don't smoke. So for the longest time, what I would say is, "I'm sorry, I don't smoke," but I'm not really sorry about that. You know,
Better off for it.
I'm okay with that. But have I had struggles with alcohol? Yes. I mean, like, I'm no saint.
Sure.
But
daily drinker? Or?
No, not daily. But there's an old Jerry Jeff Walker song. When I drink a bit. So that's the weakness. I'm just simply saying, I'm not the first one, and I'm not the last one. But I just say that I don't do drugs. Somebody came up to me one day and asked me if I had any blues for sale, and I said, "You mean like B.B. King?" I don't even know what a blue is, but apparently it's some sort of meth thing or fentanyl.
They're smoking fentanyl pills.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. but that's not my deal. But when it comes to like a little bit of vodka, I don't drink beer much. I used to. I mean, there's not really much that I haven't done, but when I drink now, I usually get like a little vodka, and then that kind of throws me off. So
Yeah.
but you know, we all have our weaknesses. I have been married twice, divorced twice. As a matter of fact, I used to run at the law firm. I ran the softball team, and we won the championship one year. And we were at Old Chicago on Larimer Square, and we were celebrating. And my ex-wife came in and said, he will not be he will not be managing the softball team next year. You know, we were drinking a little beer. But the thing is that you know, I've given up all my other vices, and every once in a while I break down and have a little bit to drink. And that's just the way it is.
Yep.
But I never drink at work, and I never forced it on anybody, and I never put anybody in a bad position about it. I always tell everybody, when I look for blame, I look in the mirror, because it's not on. I don't point fingers, and I don't blame anybody else. It's all on me. You know, I mean, like, that's just the way it is. So does my son worry about me? Yes. Does my sister worry about me? Yes. Does my mother worry about me? Yes. But I talk to all of them every day, and I have a phone, and I keep in touch with everybody, and I make sure that they know that I'm doing okay. I'm doing what I need to do, or can do, is what I should say.
You're loved.
Huh?
You're loved.
I am loved. I'm very loved. I have a very wonderful family. Like there was somebody asked me one time, because I do some counseling with at the Mission and at the Rising, and but one time somebody said, it sounds like, you know, your dad abused you. And I said, my dad left when I was 4. My mom was a fantastic mother. There wasn't anything. I had a great family, and I still do. I have a great family. But the thing is that, like, I put myself in some bad positions. So, you know, I mean, I'm the one paying the price. You know, why would my sister pay the price? Why would my son pay the price? I coached my son for 8 years in lacrosse. We did everything together. I read him every single Harry Potter book before we ever saw a movie. So I go to the library. I read all the time. So you know, am I a well-adjusted person? Yes. But am I in a bad position? Yes. I mean, like, you know, you can't avoid the truth. But you can't. I don't think that what a lot of people do, in particular in my situation, I'll tell you, at shelters, there's a lot of anger, and people yell at each other about the most ridiculous stuff. And what I do is I read my book and stay out of it, because it's not my deal. It's I don't need to get involved in that. Why? I'm not going to jail for somebody else's cigarette. I'm just simply saying that I mind my own business and take care of what I have to take care of, and I keep all my money at my mom's house. I keep very little cash on me, and my sister likes to buy me Whole Foods gift cards, McDonald's gift cards, so that I can, you know, get stuff to eat out on the street. And but you know, am I loved? Pretty much. I would have to say that's true.
What is your outlook for the future?
My outlook is to try to find a job and to be productive. But right now, I've been talking to some people about volunteer work, like at the Mission. The Mission has a lot of connections. The Denver Rescue Mission, they have a lot of connections, and what it is
so does the Arvada Mission.
Yeah, see, I did not know that, but
This place.
I think that this place has a lot of connections.
We're not competing.
Yeah,
So.
no. But what I'm saying is that, like, I had a friend tell me, Kent, you're a fairly intelligent person. You seem to have had success in your life, and I have. I've owned 2 homes, one in Ken Carroll, one in Green Mountain. But they said it seems to me like you would gain some sort of completion out of volunteer work. If you can't find a job, maybe you should just volunteer and try to add that stuff to your resume. And so that's basically in my future is what I need to do is just get some of this stuff taken care of that I'm trying to work on.
I think this gives some good perspective of what your life and upbringing, and
Yeah.
it's good to hear that you're trying to, at least I think, sort of work yourself out of your current
I am.
position.
I am trying. I am, and I'll tell you that like as a kid growing up, I had 4 horses, 6 cattle, 2 ducks, and 2 dogs, and I took care of them every morning. Then went to school, and then took care of them every afternoon. And my mom was working at the Arizona State Bar down in Phoenix, so. Did we go camping? Yes. Did we do this? Yes. I had a great childhood, and I have raised a great son, and I think that all of that is reflective of my life. So I'm good with that.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No trouble.